Hello and welcome to my channel, or if this is your first time here, my name is Millie and I love indie makeup, especially shiny, shifty, and sparkly eyeshadows. And today I'm here with another Alien Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. I know, I went a little hard with buying their eyeshadow palettes, but I've tried two so far. I believe it's two. I think it's two, and I've been blown away, not just by the mattes, by the shimmers as well. So of course I had to pick up the Witching Hour palette, which came out like in October, right around, well, right before Halloween, but it didn't get to me until after Halloween, unfortunately. So I'm getting to it now, and I know spooky season is kind of over, but I still really wanted to do a couple of looks with this palette. So in this video, I'm going to show you some swatches as well as two looks. This is actually a third look I created. It is not filmed, but I just wanted to get a feel for all the mattes. So this is what the color story looks like. What a bright and colorful and fun Halloween themed eyeshadow palette, or just spooky themed. I love that it's so bright and it's just not too many expected colors. Like, it's not just like a purple and a green or like super murky colors. I love that there's the bright orange, we have the bright green, a magenta, and three beautiful shimmers to go with these super colorful mattes. There's not like a lot of depth, but I would say Scrying, Potion, and Herbs are a bit, like a little bit on the deeper side. But yeah, if you wanted to really deepen up some looks, you would have to dip into another palette, roll the swatches and the two looks, and I'll give you some of my thoughts at the end of the video as always. Priming with the Natasha Denona eyeshadow primer. Going in with Grimoire right on the inner third of my crease. Wow, that is pigmented. Just gonna start to slowly blend out the edge of that. Oh my goodness. That is such a stunning orange. And then Scrying next to it. Also really beautiful, very pigmented. To just wipe off my brush, and I'm going in, just blending out the edge of that. Like, I'm gonna overlap these a little bit better right here. Outer corner, going in with Potion. I like to pack it on a little bit. Actually, before I start blending that out, going back in with Scrying right here, just to pack it on a little bit more. I really want it to be more true to color. And then going and blending out the purple. Going to take it under my lower lash line. Just packing on a little bit more right in here in the direct outer corner. And blending. Seems like it's getting stuck a little bit, so I'm just going back in with more on the brush, going in with Scrying underneath my lower lash line, and then Grimoire in there, and going in with the Fair Pixie Epoxy. I'm gonna do a fake half cut crease, tapping it out, going in with Curse. I'm gonna kind of take it right all the way at the edge, and then sigil right underneath. I have to really dip my brush in there. It's not really picking up. It feels very hard pressed, so I'm going in with my finger to try to put it on. I do feel some fallout. Going back in with Potion just to make sure I have a nice smooth transition. Put on the Kiss All Mine lashes, and in the waterline I have Mango Tango from Beauty Creations. And here's the first finished look. Priming on this side with the Natasha Denona eyeshadow primer. I'm going to use the greens on this eye, going in with Craft and just packing it on in the crease. And just packing it on more until I get it to the vibrancy that I'm looking for. I feel like this looks a bit more yellow once it's actually on the lid. Taking Herbs onto the outer corner. That shade is super pigmented, and just blending it in. Taking it under my lower lash line as well. And then Craft right next to that. Going in with the NYX glitter primer. And I'm just gonna put it all over the lid, a little bit up in the crease. I'm gonna be tapping out the edges, and I'm gonna be taking curves across the lid. I feel like these are a little bit more powdery shimmers. They're not really like super smooth, very metallic, almost emollient. These do not feel the same as the ones I've experienced so far. These are more similar to the Hauntingly Glamorous shimmers, I would say. They're just not quite as impactful as the Fairy Frolics. I'm gonna go in my finger, see what it does. I haven't used the magic shade, so I'm actually gonna layer it on my lower lash line next to the green. I know I had the lighter green, but this kind of canceled it out anyways. I'm just going in and extend it to my inner corner. Yeah, I mean, it's not really the shiniest. Put on the Kiss lashes in the style All Mine. In the waterline, I have ColourPop Amethyst Hour. And here's the second finished look. I cannot stress enough how much I love this color story. I usually really complain when there's no deepening up shades, but I think this is a really nice just like 9-pan eyeshadow palette without always needing to have a deepening up shade. I think if it was a larger palette, maybe like 12, 15 pans, then I definitely feel like I would have missed them more, but I think these are super fun. Now let's talk about the formulas in here, because the shimmers are definitely not the same feel and look as the shimmers in the Fairy Frolic palette, which is the last video I posted. I did 2 or 3 looks with that palette, and I was absolutely blown away by those really shiny and smooth metallics. And these are just, they are still pretty shiny, like even in the pan they look really nice and almost like they have like a certain like iridescent quality to them, so they're not like fully opaque. I think if you layered them, like this one is pretty opaque, but I think you could share them out, the green as well. So they just feel really thick in the pan. And I've felt the shimmers like this before, and they tend to be more prone to hard pan, which I am having just slight hard pan in the sigil shade. They're a bit harder to pick up, especially the sigil shade, which is what I'm wearing, with Court as the matte all over the lid. And I just had a bit of trouble picking this one up. I had to go in with my finger, and then it really stuck down to the NYX glitter primer, and it was harder to kind of blend out the edges in my crease so that I wouldn't have any harsh lines. So just wanted to point that out. I'm not in love with these shimmers. They're beautiful still, but I really am missing the other formula from the Fairy Frolic palette. If anything, these are more similar to the 2 shimmers that are in the Hauntingly Glamorous palette. I think those are just, they feel a little bit more powdery. Actually, they're probably less metallic than these, but those felt just like a little thicker in the pan. They weren't as like emollient, like I said, as the Fairy Frolic. How many times am I going to repeat myself? So let's move on to the mattes. I've had so far really, really great experiences with Alien Cosmetics mattes. These seem a little bit harder pressed. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the Hauntingly Glamorous mattes were just easier to pick up, and really just like they were fully opaque. Pressing down of the brush, while these take a little bit of building up, which is also nice on the other hand. So you can get like a really nice just like wash of color with these, and you can also really pack them on. A tacky prime would definitely help with that a lot. So I'm not like overly like in love with this palette. I love the color story. I do believe it was a very limited edition, so I'm not sure if it's coming back. And another note, I just realized that you can actually take these pans out and you could kind of rearrange them, which I think would be actually really fun. I think I might end up doing that and maybe just like putting all the shimmers in one row and then the mattes in the others. It's not that I think it's a bad palette. I just prefer the formulas in the other 2 palettes I tried so far. The next palette I will be probably using is either the Not Normal or the Allure. And I'm pretty sure the Allure palette has shimmers more similar to Fairy Frolic, where they're super, super emollient. So I'm really excited to dip into that palette. I know it's nothing new at this point, but I still really want to use it because I love the color story. Overall, Alien Cosmetics just has been doing some really beautiful color stories. So that's everything for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you picked this palette up. Have you had the same experience as me or a different experience? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. There's so much makeup content, lots and lots of tutorials up already on my channel, and much more to come. You don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.